If you were really a man, you'd fight for me. She smirked after I caught her cheating. So I told her, real men know when to walk away. Now she's stuck with a man who yells, cheats, and blames her for everything. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I used to think stability was a good thing in a relationship. That being the dependable one, the guy who showed up, kept his word, stayed calm when things got rocky, was something women actually wanted. Turns out, for some, it just makes you invisible. Emily and I met during our last year of college. I was finishing up a degree in finance and already locked into a job offer, and she was getting her BFA in studio art. She was magnetic, loud, opinionated, messy in the way artists always seem to be, but somehow we worked. I was structure, she was chaos. And we both liked the balance. For the first couple of years, it was good. I helped her with rent when she was between jobs. I set up her first solo exhibit, printed flyers, got wine for the opening. I even built a little website for her work. She'd stay up painting until 2:00 a.m. and I'd bring her tea or rub her back while she stretched out sore shoulders. I thought we were building something real. We moved in together a year after graduation. I was working full-time at a mid-sized firm. Nothing glamorous, but I was climbing fast, and I liked the routine. She bounced around a few different jobs, waitressing, an unpaid internship at a gallery, eventually landing part-time work at a boutique art space in the city. At first, she appreciated the support, told me I made her feel safe, grounded, but over time, that appreciation started feeling more like resentment. Little comments would slip out. You're too comfortable just working your 9 to 5. Then you ever want to do something big? You're always so calm. It's like nothing touches you. I didn't react. I figured she was just stressed. Artists go through phases, right? Then came the new friends. Emily got close to the group of people from the gallery. Younger, louder, way more online. They were always going to pop-ups or art nights that somehow never included me. She'd disappear for hours, sometimes all night, then stumble in smelling like cheap beer and incense. I didn't question her. I wanted to trust her. Then there was Aiden. He was a new guy at the gallery, some indie sculptor who just moved from Portland, which somehow made him fascinating to her friends. I met him once when I came to pick her up after work. He was smug in that soft-voiced, fake deep way, and he didn't even shake my hand, just nodded and said, "Oh, you're her boyfriend?" Like it was an inconvenience. After that, I started hearing his name more often. Aiden says I should try bigger canvases. Aiden thinks that piece I made last year had real depth. You wouldn't get it. Aiden and I just see art the same way. At first, I brushed it off. I've never been the jealous type, but then her behavior changed. She started hiding her phone. She'd smile at texts and flip the screen over when I walked by. I'd ask how her night went, and she'd just say, "It was fine. Don't worry about it." I asked once, flat out, if something was going on. She laughed. "Seriously, you're being paranoid. I thought you were more secure than that." That stung. She knew how much I hated drama. I backed off. I gave her space, but my gut kept twisting. Then one Saturday night, she told me she was going to a gallery mixer, said it was all artists, and some of the staff, low-key, boring stuff. She wore makeup and heels she hadn't touched in months. I watched her leave and told myself not to spiral. She didn't come home until 2:00 a.m. On Sunday, she was hungover and irky. Barely said 10 words all day. I let it go. But on Monday, everything fell apart thanks to a mutual friend. Jess is one of Emily's old college friends. We're not close, but she follows me on Instagram around lunch. I saw Jess had posted a story. A group of people clinking glasses on a rooftop bar. I tapped through lazily until the fourth clip stopped me cold. Emily, sitting next to Aiden, her hand on his thigh, his arm behind her on the couch. The angle was unintentional. Jess had just been filming a toast, but it was enough. I stared at that image for a full minute, then I took a screenshot, then I sat back and said nothing. Not to her, not to anyone. I just let the silence sit, and I waited. I waited 2 days before saying anything. Not because I was unsure. I was sure. I just wanted to watch her lie to my face before I left for good. Tuesday night, we were both home. She was curled up on the couch, scrolling through her phone, acting normal. I sat across from her, pretending to watch TV. Every now and then, she'd glance over, like she was checking if I was still in my little box. The quiet, dependable boyfriend. I waited until the credits rolled, so I said casually, "How was the gallery mixer Saturday?" She didn't even look up. "Fine. Just the usual, kind of boring." Honestly, I nodded. "You said it was all artists and staff, right?" "Yeah." "What?" I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshot, turned the screen toward her, and held it in the space between us. She stared at it for a second, long enough to register what it was, before blinking slowly and leaning back. "Wow. So, you're spying on me now." I laughed once, sharp and dry. "Spying. Jess posted it. You just forgot she follows me." 2. She scoffed and ran a hand through her hair, suddenly animated. "Okay. First of all, that's out of context. We were just sitting close. It was loud. Your hand was on his leg. Emily." "So what?" She snapped. "You never touch me like that anymore." I stayed calm. "You never want me to anymore. Don't flip this." She stood up, pacing like she was building her defense in real time. "You know what? Maybe if you actually made me feel something, I wouldn't need that attention. So, you do need it from him." She stopped halfway between the kitchen and the living room. "I didn't say Smith." She said, "He doesn't just tolerate me. He listens. He pushes me creatively. I feel alive with him. With you. I feel managed. Handle. Like I'm a task you check off every day." He let that sink in. All those nights making her tea, backing her financially, listening to her vent about critics, job rejections, friend drama, all the little things she never saw as love. And then she smiled, not warmly, the kind of smile people use when they know they're hurting you and don't care. "If you were really a man," she said, "you'd fight for me." That was it. That line, that smug toner, like I was supposed to throw a punch or scream or cry, like I should grovel and ask her what I needed to change, like her betrayal was a test of my manhood. I stood up slowly, walked past her, and grabbed my backpack from the hall closet. I started putting things in it, just essentials. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Getting out of your way." "Wow." She sneered. "So that's it, you're just gonna leave? No fight?" "No, nothing." I zipped the bag, slung it over my shoulder, and turned to her. "Real men don't compete with liars." I said, "They walk away." Her face shifted, smug to stunned in a second. "You're being so dramatic." "No." I said, "I'm being done." I walked out the door and didn't look back. I got in my car, drove to my brother's place across town, and crashed on his couch. That night, she sent me 2 texts. "Emily, you're overreacting. We didn't sleep together. Emily, please don't make this worse than it needs to be." I didn't answer. I just turned my phone off and slept like a rock for the first time in weeks. The next morning, I moved money out of our shared account and sent a polite email to our landlord asking to remove my name from the lease. I didn't need revenge. I just needed peace. The silence did all the talking. I didn't block her. Not yet. I wanted her to sit with it. The emptiness where I used to be. No calls. No texts. No angry messages or dramatic. We need to talk. I didn't post anything online. I didn't go out of my way to look like I was thriving. I just disappeared. I moved into a small but clean 1-bedroom near my office. Bought a cheap couch, a bed frame, a kettle, no shared photos, no memories on the walls. Just space. Mine. The first week, she didn't reach out beyond those 2 texts. I think she expected me to cool off, crawl back, sin air. Can we talk? Or, I just want closure. That's what she'd gotten from guys before me. But I stayed quiet. By week 2, she started posting again. Photos of herself laughing at bars, cocktails in hand, with captions like living, not apologizing. One picture had Aiden in it. Sama rooftop. Same smug grin. She leaned into him like nothing had happened. Like I'd never existed. At first, it hurt. I won't lie. Seeing her flaunt it like I was the problem made my jaw clench. But then I remembered I'd already left. I wasn't in the game anymore. Then her story started to shift. At first, there were tons of group selfies, drinks, party, then fewer, then just solo photos with vague captions like, "People always disappoint you. Some things aren't worth saving." The real shift came when Jess her old friend, the one who posted that rooftop story, messaged me out of the blue. I hadn't spoken to her in a month. Yes. Hey, just checking in. You doing okay? I kept it short. Me doing fine. Thanks. Yes. I didn't know she was seeing Aiden. Not when I posted that. Sorry, you had to find out like that. I didn't respond. She kept going, yes. For what it's worth, I don't think things are going great. Is not what she thought. Turns out Aiden was more than just smug and broke. He was angry. Controlling. Always starting fights with people at the gallery. Then blaming it on being misunderstood. Rumor was he'd thrown a stool at someone after they criticized his work during an open studio night. Emily stopped posting him completely by week 5. She didn't tag him, didn't mention his name, just more sad girl content. Vague quotes. And quiet desperation disguised as independence. Then came the first text from her, Emily. Hey, just thinking about you. Hope you're okay. I didn't answer. Left it on read. 3 days later, Emily. I've been doing a lot of thinking about us. About everything. Can we talk? Just one coffee. Blocked. 2 more days passed. Then just messaged again. Yes. Okay. I'm not trying to get involved. But Emily's not okay. Aiden's been yelling at her, like full-on meltdowns in public. He broke a piece she was working on, smashed it in front of her. I waited a full minute before replying. Me. Then she should have valued me when I was there. No reply. After that, but I know she saw it. Probably read it 10 times. I think that's when it really hit her that I wasn't coming back. That she'd traded a partner for a parasite, a calm life for chaos. And now chaos wouldn't even return her text without breaking something she'd spent so long trying to make me feel small. Telling me I wasn't passionate enough. Man, enough. Interesting enough? Now she had someone interesting, someone wild. And she was drowning in it. Week 10 was when she finally snapped. It was a Saturday afternoon. I just finished a workout and was heading back up to my apartment with groceries when I saw her. Emily, sitting on the steps outside my building, hair tied back messily, no makeup, hoodie too big for her frame. She looked like she hadn't slept. For a second, I almost didn't recognize her, not because of how she looked, but because of how small she seemed. Deflated. Like someone had popped the balloon of whatever high horse she'd been riding. She stood up as I approached. Hey, she said, forcing a smile. I figured you wouldn't answer if I texted again. I said nothing. Just moved to unlock the front door. She stepped in front of me, blocking it. Wait, please. Just 5 minutes. I didn't want a scene in front of neighbors, so I sighed and stepped back. Talk. She glanced down at the concrete before speaking. I messed up. I know. You didn't even try to stop me. You didn't fight for me. You didn't even ask why I did it. You made it pretty clear. You said I wasn't enough, that I didn't make you feel anything. What else was there to ask? She winced, like hearing her own words aloud hurt more than saying them. I was confused. I thought, Aiden, I thought you got me. But he doesn't care. He just wants someone to worship him. He's angry all the time. He broke my laptop last week because I took too long to text back. I raised an eyebrow, and you want me to fix that? No. I mean, she stopped, clearly flustered. I miss how safe I felt with you, how steady things were. I didn't realize how good I had it until it was gone. There it was, the classic line. I'd seen it in a 100 Reddit posts, didn't realize what I had. She thought this was her moment to be the victim of her own bad choices. I shook my head. You didn't want safety. You wanted sparks. You wanted chaos. You thought calm meant boring, and now that chaos has a cost, you're crawling back. She stepped forward, lowering her voice, like it would make it more intimate. I'm saying I made a mistake. Can't you see that? You said you loved me. I did. I cut her off. Pest tense. Her face twitched. The desperation turned to anger. So that's it? You're just going to throw away 3 years like it meant nothing? You threw it away. I just accepted it. She crossed her arms now. Voice sharper. You think you're so mature, don't you? Acting like you're above everything. Like you're some monk who's too evolved to care. Newsflash. Walking away doesn't make you strong. It makes you a coward. I smiled, not smug. Just said, you wanted me to fight for you. Here's the truth. Emily, real love doesn't require a fight. It requires respect. You had mine. I never had yours. She went quiet. You once told me I didn't make you feel anything. I continued. Well, Now you get to feel everything you chose instead. She opened her mouth like she had more to say. Some final jab, maybe. But I didn't give her the chance. I stepped around her, unlocked the door, and walked inside, closed it without looking back. She didn't follow. 10 minutes later, I checked the peephole. Go on it. That was the last time I saw her in person. A week later, a friend told me Aiden got into a fight at a bar and broke his wrist. Apparently, the gallery dropped him. Emily moved back into her parents' house in the suburbs. Her Instagram deleted, her art page gone. Mutual friends stopped mentioning her. One even said, she's just not the same anymore. Me. I kept moving forward. Promotions at work. A new apartment with real furniture. I started hiking again. Sleeping better. Living fully. Not just surviving quietly. She made her choice. Now she's living with it. 6 months later, I got invited to a wedding. It was one of those delayed college weddings. A mutual college friend named Tyler finally tying the knot. I wasn't going to go at first, but a few friends convinced me, said it would be good to be around people again, to celebrate something. For once, the venue was low-key, but classy. Outdoor garda, string lights, linen suits, all of it tasteful. I showed up alone, dressed sharp, but simple. I felt good. Calm, grounded, light in a way I hadn't felt in years. I was halfway through a drink at the reception when I saw her, Emily. She was standing near the back patio with Jess and another girl I didn't recognize. She looked thinner, not in a healthy way. In a life's been eating me alive way, her hair had lost its usual shine. Her eyes darted around nervously, like she was looking for someone or trying to avoid them. Her gaze landed on me. I held eye contact for 2 seconds. Just enough for her to know. I saw her, then I turned back to the conversation I was in. No reaction, no smile, nothing. A few minutes later, Jess walked over, alone. Hey, can I ask you something kind of awkward? I raised an eyebrow. Emily wants to talk to you. She said she just wants a minute. Closure or something. I sip my drink. I don't think she's looking for closure. Yes, I think she's looking for a reset button. But tell her she already hit delete months ago. Yes, Sile, honestly, I don't blame you. She's not doing great. She told me Aiden was the worst mistake of her life. He emptied her savings, pushed away everyone who cared about her, and now he's got a new girl. She's been trying to patch things up with people, but I cut her off politely. It's not my job to help her rebuild what she chose to destroy. She nodded slowly. Not protest. No guilt tripping. The rest of the night was peaceful. I danced. I laughed with friends. Took photos. At one point, someone handed me a slice of cake and said, "You seem lighter lately." Man, like, something finally let go. I didn't explain. I didn't need to. But as the night wound down and people started saying their goodbyes, I stepped outside to call a car, and that's when she approached me one last time. Emily walked up slow, unsure. She was holding a glass of wine like it was anchoring her in place. "You really aren't going to say anything to me?" she asked. I looked at her, really looked. All the damage, all the bruised pride, all the weight of her choices etched into her face. I already said everything I needed to. Emily, with my silence, I thought maybe after all this time, you'd understand that maybe we could talk. Try again. I shook my head. You don't miss me. Emily, you miss the man who made you feel safe while you burned everything down around him. And that man isn't available anymore. She blinked, stunned. You've changed. She said, almost to herself. Yeah. I replied, turns out being treated like I wasn't enough was exactly the motivation I needed. She looked like she might cry, but I didn't wait to find out. My ride pulled up. I gave her a small nod. Nothing cruel, just final, and walked away. No drama. No fireworks, just closure. The real kind. I don't think about her much anymore. She became a lesson. Not a los, and me, I never had to fight to prove I was a man. I just had to walk away and let time prove it for me. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.